Hey all, this is Steffen Stierle from Berlin speaking. It's a pity that I cannot be with you on the Civil Society Forum in Bucharest because I would really like to have discussions and to learn about your struggles, the struggles in different European countries, but especially in Central and Eastern Europe. And I would also like to discuss with you about our struggle, our common struggle against the agreement TTIP, um, against which we have a strong new resistance movement in Germany, which brings very different actors on one table. There are ecologists against TTIP, there are groups like ATTAC, there are unionists, there is a democracy movement. So very different background, so people with very different backgrounds are working together against this contract with the US. And I think the reason for that is that TTIP means at least a very wide attack against very different rules and standards which we have worked for and which we have fought for in the last decades. Because the new thing is, in comparison to other contracts which we have already, that TTIP is not only about one thing. Normally we had agreements about tariffs or agreements about investment or agreements about services. While in TTIP the idea is to put anything on the table, be it labor rights, be it financial regulation, be it ecological standards, everything you can think about is on the table, is part of the negotiations. And this allows, of course, the negotiator to make very huge deals, saying on the one hand, well, okay, the US agrees to deregulate their financial markets, but for that the European Union allows the US corporations to sell their genetic food on our markets. So such deals can be done if you have very lot things on the table, and that is why TTIP means a very huge attack with consequences which we could not completely foresee at the moment, but it can happen really much. And the second point is why we are very concerned about this contract is the way the negotiations are organized. There is absolutely no democratic control. We as civil society and our parliamentarians as well do not have the information which is required to really see what is negotiated in concrete, to influence these negotiations, to take part on it. While on the other hand, huge banks, a number of huge banks, a number of huge corporations is very closely involved in the process. They have contracts as advisors, they are consulted by the European Commission, etc. They do have all these papers, all this information. They have direct contacts to the negotiator, so they are really strongly able to influence this negotiation. And that is why we think that TTIP is a contract which is made at least for the benefit of big corporations, of big banks, but against our interests as civil society. And that's the second big reason why we are against this contract. And the third thing is, of course, it brings us absolutely nothing. They tell us TTIP will create a huge number of new jobs, it will create economic growth, but there is no reason to believe that. From an empirical point of view, we know that these contracts normally always create new unemployment, create decreasing wages, and as well decreasing job quality. So it would be the first time, at least, that with TTIP that such a contract really brings new jobs and increasing living standards. And also there's studies that they now present us in order to show that there is theoretical argumentation that TTIP will bring economic benefits. These studies, I will not go in detail now, but these studies are completely unrealistic. They are arguing, well, with methods which are completely unserious, and they are having results with numbers that are so small that it is absolutely clear from a statistical point of view that you cannot believe it. On the other hand, there are also studies from the International Labour Organization, for example, which are more serious and at least say exactly the opposite, that TTIP will lead to more unemployment. They say it costs around 600,000 jobs only in Europe. So we do not really know what happens, but it is clear that there is no argument that TTIP creates jobs or growth. So we have no reason to support this contract. We will not have any benefit from it, and we have good reasons to resist it because it's a huge attack against democracy, social rights and environment. And that is why we are working against this contract, and that is why we hope to be able to organize more European-wide resistance. With the self-organized European Citizens Initiative, we have made a good starting point. But I think if we go on with working together, with trying to bring our power more together in order to stop this contract, we will really have the possibility to do that. And I hope you will first enjoy the Civil Society Forum in Bucharest, but I hope also that we will have in the near future other possibilities to talk about these topics and to develop common strategies in order to resist this new wave of neoliberal globalization. So thanks very much. Bye bye.